Hey, what's up, party people? I'm Tori McGraw, the creator of Grind and Thrive, and you know what we do around here. You know we talk to successful entrepreneurs about their grind, all in the hopes of helping your business thrive. And this young lady we're talking to today, she's been thriving for quite a while in the social media and the public relations space. We're chatting with Pam Perry. She's the creator of Ministry Marketing Solutions. Now, Pam's a PR coach, social media strategist that delivers online branding and marketing solutions for best-selling authors, not-for-profits, and entrepreneurs. She's also the Chief Visionary Officer for that company, Ministry Marketing Solutions. Additionally, she's an internet radio host of Chocolate Pages, where she's interviewed people like Kirk Franklin, Rev Run, and Yolanda Adams. She's an Emmy Award-winning TV producer, also a columnist with Gospel Today, blog for myblogalicious.com, examiner.com, on topics such as branding, marketing, and PR 2.0 tactics. Wanted to bring Pam on also to just learn about her background, see how she got to where she is today. Additionally, offer us some insight on how you can thrive just like she is. So, Pam, I'm out of breath with that big, long introduction because you've done so much, but welcome to Grind and Thrive, and how are you today?
I am great. Thank you, Tori, for having me. You know what? This is a first for me. This is my first Skype interview. People think I'm so techy and all of that, and I'm really more comfortable with my mobile phone. So doing this with my my Skype interview, this is cool. I like this web show.
Well, I'm glad that we're able to bring you into the fold. Hopefully, we'll get you to do more of these as time goes by. I talked to you prior to, just in regards to what topics I wanted to cover, and our audience are hungry entrepreneurs. They're really wanting to thrive. A lot of them have full-time jobs, and at night they're going home, they're tucking the kids in the bed, and they're really working hard to try to pursue a passion that they have. So I think your insight will be very helpful in helping those folks do just that. So how's that sound?
That sounds good.
Okay, let's start, at least for me, what I consider the beginning, because you didn't start out as this big PR, well-known, trusted authority on PR and social media. Let's go back a little ways back. Now, you, just like a lot of us, had, I guess, quote-unquote, regular jobs. You were working in the field of PR, I believe, and the information that I have shows that you were working for Salvation Army prior to taking this entrepreneurial venture. Tell us about your time there, and then let's talk about the decision to go on your own.
Well, Tori, one of the main things about me that I just noticed, and my best friend kind of brought this out for me, is that I started in advertising, and I liked it. But I really, at a certain point in time, I was in print advertising. I worked at the Free Press, and I really wanted to do something different. I hit a wall after about 7 years. And then I said, well, where is the next big thing? And people were saying, it's a lot of money in radio. You can make a lot of money in radio, and if you're going to sell advertising, sell radio. I retrained myself. I networked. I met people. I went to the shows, went to the meetings, and I got a job in radio. After about 5 years, I said, I'm really kind of tired of radio. I just felt, I had an epiphany one day, and I was like, I'm selling air. And I really wanted to do something a little bit more purposeful. During the same time, I also found that I had a gift or a passion for public relations, for commuting, for promoting. And I started an organization that was really of blacks in advertising, radio, and television, because there weren't a lot of blacks in advertising, radio, and television. Still aren't. It's another thing. But anyway, I started that organization, and it grew to about 10,000 members, really, at a certain point in time. And it grew and it grew, and it really was like something I did as a passion late at night. Worked on the PR and the marketing of it. Was called BART. At a certain point in time, I said, people were saying, you're really good at PR. And so I said, you know what, I'm leaving radio. Let me find my next phase of where I'm going to be. My next phase where I wanted to be was in PR, but I had no formal training in it.
Right.
So again, I went to a lot of the conferences, I read a lot of the books, and I ended up as the director of public relations for the Salvation Army, based on my passion, based on the work, and based on the people that I knew. And those are the three things that are always, when I'm rebranding, is based on my work, based on my passion, and the people that I know, people I surround myself. Well, I stayed at the Salvation Army again for about 5 years. I had a daughter, got married, had a daughter, Got married first.
All right.
Got married, and my husband had a marketing company. And so I joined him after I left the Salvation Army. I didn't really want to go into the corporate gig anymore. I really liked it, but I really wanted more flexibility. And since we were married, I wanted to help him build his business. So I became immediately the vice president of public relations for his company. That worked out for a while until the automotive industry began to tank, and because primarily his clients were Ford, Chrysler, and GM. And when his company began to tank, and I'm bringing in what my passion was, a lot of Christian authors, a lot of nonprofits, that really didn't meld well with the company, but these were what I knew. These were my passions. So his company went out of business, and resurrected from that was Ministry Marketing Solutions, and that was in 2000. And again, I had a small daughter. He didn't have he went and got a job after a while, but I started my company just out of my passion. No clients at the time, just a dream, a flicker of like, this is really what I want to do. Again, I had to rebrand and retrain myself because I hadn't been an entrepreneur. So I was reading things like Michael Gerber. I was reading, definitely slept with Black Enterprise, went to a lot of their conferences. Not slept with it, but you know what I mean, slept in reading the magazine.
Right.
And basically just retraining myself about what it takes to run a successful business, all while also running the business and then also trying to combine that with being a wife and a new mother. So every time I wanted to do something different, it just had to take next level information. This is before social media, so I wasn't following blogs or listening to podcasts. I just read a lot of books and went to a lot of conferences. And I think that's really what's needed. I find now that people are either lazy or think that things are going to drop on them. It's like you have a dream and they think that someone's going to open the door for them automatically. It doesn't happen. You have to grind. You have to really want it so bad that you're going to lose some sleep. You won't go to bed every night at 10, 11 o'clock. You may have to stay up till 1 and 2. We did it when we were in college. You know, we would grind, we would crash for those tests.
That's right.
And even though I'm older, it's the next phase of my life where I see where I need to go, and no one's tapping you on the shoulder and say, "Did you do this?" You have to be proactive, and you have to do it unscripted, like it's not written anywhere, but you have to just be guided, and that's where it really just takes being around the right people, and that's so important.
You know, it's interesting that you mentioned, you know, having to just not relearn because you didn't know it at the beginning, but learn these new industries that you were going into. You started out in advertising, then you had to learn PR once you kind of made that shift.
Then be an entrepreneur.
Right. I mean, at the time, was there any fear just having to kind of relearn this stuff? Because we get so comfortable when we think we have a certain knowledge foundation, and we're so apt to stay there versus having to go and just learn a whole totally new thing. So how fearful that, you know, I may not get this. Is this the right decision? You know, talk about that thought process there.
You know, I guess being an entrepreneur, I was always an entrepreneur at heart. So I was never fearful. It was tough. What really takes away fear for me is preparation. And so if you are prepared, you won't be afraid. And for me, I am a seeker. I'm always asking. I'm not afraid to look dumb in order to get smart. Okay, so that's never, I don't embarrass easy. And I don't have a lot of pride when it comes to that, because I know I don't know everything. But because I don't think I know everything, I think that's why I have a lot of wisdom, because I can sit at the feet of other people that have gone before me and learn from their mistakes. I always tell people you can either learn from mistakes or mentors. I choose the mentors, okay? Yeah. And that's just the way I've always been. So, yeah, it was some fear, just sometimes when money doesn't really flow as well as it should in terms of your business. But the main thing is I never give up. You always have to have the attitude, and then you always have to ask yourself, what's the worst that can happen? What's the worst that can happen? You die. Okay, well, that didn't happen. So if you have another day, have another chance, and you can get back up. And I surround myself with positive people. I listen to motivational tapes. I go to a really good church. that's all important. I have good coaches. I read good books. I mean, so yeah, there are going to be some ups and downs with your days and things like that. But you have to know how to keep yourself motivated, because life will knock you down. But you have to know the fear and all of that. You've got to just do it anyway. There's a book, I guess it's called "Feel the Fear and Do It Anyway." I read that probably while I was in college. Mm-hmm. And as an African American, just growing up in the 60s or whatever, there's a lot of things I could probably be afraid of. I was the first in my family to go to college. I was the first in my family to move away. I mean, there's so many different things, but you trailblaze and you do it anyway. And you realize that, hey, I can do it, you know. I'm kind of, you know, this is kind of off the cuff, but Oprah, you know, just retired basically from her show. Mm-hmm. But I really started watching her back in the 80s, and a lot of people can say this as well, that what she did for African American, especially African American women, is show people the possibility of what's possible. So while she was on, I was just coming out of college and that sort of thing. So I watched her and I said, you know what? If this woman can do it, then I know I can do whatever I put my mind to. And again, it's about the people she connected with. It was about the information that she read. She's a big book person. And, you know, really just putting in the work. I mean, nobody can outwork her. And that's the way we should be about our passion. No one should be able to outwork her. You should work someone. It's like, you know what, they may be better than me in terms of the skill level that they have, but no one should be able to outwork you. You're going to work longer. You're going to work harder. Yeah. And that's really how people are successful. People just think it's going to happen really easy. It doesn't happen easy. You have to really work, and you have to just be mission-minded about what it is. When I rebranded myself from a publicist to a PR coach, again, that was another level of information I had to get. And then from a PR coach, really now to a social media strategist. At 50 years old, I'm learning social media. I'm teaching it. I'm speaking at conferences. Why? Because I put my head in the game, and I paid attention, got the right mentors, read the right information, the right conferences, and it just happened. And I think if you're authentic and you really know and you have visions, like if you can see the rest of my office, my whole wall is like a vision board.
Yes, I see that, yeah.
Yeah, and there's a bigger one in front of us.
Okay.
If you really have that vision in front of you, got a big picture of Oprah up there, if you have that in front of you, things will drive you, and then also you attract the right people into your life. I really do believe that, because I can name like pivotal, like certain people that I met that were divine connections that sent me to the next level. One of them was George Frazier. I remember meeting him years ago, and he's just been a pivotal person in my life. He wrote the book Success Runs in My Race, and he's Mr. Networker, and I just love what he does, what he stands for. And through him, I've met a lot of other people as well. Terry Williams, who's a publicist. She wrote the book The Personal Touch. You can tell I love authors.
You're an avid reader, absolutely.
I do, and I love authors too. So, but yeah, those are so many things. But it's so different now with social media, Tori. I mean, I give out so much free information. If any entrepreneur really wants to know what it takes, if they just follow me or Google me, or they can really know what I know.
Right.
And when people are lazy and just send you an email and say, oh, what do you do, or this and that, it's like, you got to do the research.
Yeah.
I mean, it's all there. I do podcasts, video, you know, this will be on video. I mean, I'll tell people, you know, you can go to this website, this and that. You know, I have one little URL. It's called about.me /Pam Perry. You want to know anything about me, my story is probably everywhere. And if you go to that one URL, you can find everything. But you know what, most people, they don't go deep enough. They don't dig deeper. They don't go farther. They'll go to a certain point and say, oh, well, I don't really see that answer right away. Yeah, but, you know, go further. You have to do the homework. You know, there's the A students, the B students, and the C students. The A students are always in the front of the class, right? And they're the ones that are always asking the questions. Well, when I was in college and when I was in school, I was always an A student. I was the person that was like, you know, why she always got to ask those questions? Why she got to do that? Why she always doing something extra? It's just you have to know that you want to be an A student. You want to do something extra. Versus a C, you could get by, but it won't help you achieve your dreams.
Well, we want A students because it's not grind and be content. It's grind and thrive. We're trying to
There you
thrive
go.
around here, Pam. So
That's
absolutely. Now, one thing I want to touch on, it sounds like a lot of your success came from utilizing networking. And
Yeah.
when we hear networking, there's so many negative connotations when it comes to it, whether it be, I'm not going to this networking event because the last event I went to was just people, throwing me business cards. It's not really making true connections. So how did Pam Perry make really true connections that helped you along your way? How can our audience do that?
Well, one of the things about networking is that you don't shove something in somebody's hand. Even though you should go to a networking event with materials, really classy materials, but you go and act as a host when you go to an event. How can you be helpful? So don't go as a guest thinking, okay, how can you entertain me? What are you going to do for me? But go as a person, as a host, like, let me show you around. Let me help you. What is it that you need? How can I make you more comfortable? What solution can I solve for you? People or who can I connect you with? And that's just, part of it is like almost like a gift where I connect people. When I meet people, I never forget them, especially if they tell me their dreams. So I call myself like a dream pusher. And so that's why PR was really easy for me. But if someone tells me their dream, their long-range goal, or what they really want to do, you have to be careful if you tell it to me, because then I will then go to work for you and make sure that you meet the right people, read the right books, understand the right things. That's just innate in me, because I really do want everyone to achieve their dreams. If they're serious about it, I'll say, okay, well, Tori, you need to meet Stephen Pierce. He's out of the Dallas area. He's an internet marketer. He went from homelessness to a multimillionaire. He works with Terry Williams, who's one of my mentors. I'll introduce you to him. And that could be one link in your destiny. And people you think about it, when we were in school, people like being friends with people who knew a lot of other people who would introduce them to other people, right? The cool people introducing the cool people. So I kind of say, in a way, I went to a large high school in Detroit, Cass Tech, and it's almost like high school in a way. So when you think about who were the popular people, who were the people that really got over, so to speak, these were the people that people liked, not because they were so quote-unquote special, but they made other people feel special.
Right.
They treated everybody the same. They were well-liked. And people have to learn how to be nice. They have to learn that. People can't be so greedy today. Social media or social networking is now just, it becomes so self-absorbed. It bothers me. People can't put a like on a page, or people don't even retweet. People don't leave comments. It's like, this is so easy to network, to really be nice for people. It doesn't cost you anything.
Right.
But if you're nice and you share things and you authentically want to help people, it's going to come through. And then what happens is then favor will then come back on you, because we reap what we sow. It's like karma, or it's a spiritual principle, law of attraction, whatever you want to call it. But if you do good, good will come back to you. And so when you're networking, whenever you go to events, you have on your own mind what your mission is, where you want to go in your next level. But you don't go and you push that agenda on people. You let it come out naturally. That's why I would say it's really good to listen to George Frazier. He just did his Power Networking event.
Mm-hmm.
But you can really learn a lot by listening and not so much talking all the time, unless obviously you're in an interview. But really, when you listen more than you talk, you can then you're a person that people love to be around.
Right. And that makes total sense, because I think we've all been there where we have great intentions. We're gonna, we spent X amount of dollars to go to this event. We've read articles online about networking. We have our business cards. We have some of our material. We go there and just get turned off because of the, people with the wrong intentions are just making it really uncomfortable for us to be in that environment. And so I've heard that just time and time again, how people won't spend money to go to these conferences that we think are pretty beneficial just because they don't want to deal with that aspect of networking and connecting with folks.
And the same thing online as well. I had a friend that said she's getting off Facebook because she said she was tired of people spamming her wall.
Uh-huh.
I was like, she said sending her messages and invite her to events she don't care about.
Right,
she
right.
said, I think I'm getting off Facebook. But that's the same thing. It's like people are spamming you when you go and you meet them in person. I just came back from the National Black Book Festival in Houston. And you know, I'm walking through or whatever, and I'm really just like interviewing different authors. And so unless I ask for your book or unless I ask for your business card, don't give it to me. Here's my card. Here's my book. Here's my card. Here's your book. Okay, well, I get it, and it's going to go in like cycle 13 because I didn't ask for it. I don't even know what it's about. And so their agenda was like, I'm going to give out so many business cards. It's like they get commission or something. I'm going to give out so many business cards. And you notice if someone gives you a business card, you don't have to be obligated to give your business card back. It's like, oh, okay, thank you. You know, one person said, do you want my book? What am I supposed to say?
Right.
No, I don't want your book. You know, you want to be polite, but you have to learn how to network without being like a bull in a china shop. All right? Learn to listen. And, you know, tell people in 30 seconds or less, really less than that, people are very busy, what your book is about. And then they say, oh, if they sound interested, then maybe you said, would you like a copy or would you like a, you know, then ask that. You know, but if you have to read people and see if are they interested, then yeah, then you give them a card or then you give them a book or whatever it is that you have, a flyer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's interesting because I guess I'm referring to a lot of the networking, and I didn't mean for us to talk, you know, primarily about networking, but it's just the flow of the conversation. But it's interesting how we think about networking as offline, but there's a lot of online networking that needs to take place as well. Can you talk about the importance of that and maybe some do's and don'ts and that sort of thing when it comes to online networking?
Oh, social etiquette, I call it. Social etiquette is that if you don't have a relationship with people, don't tag them in photos, don't tag them in videos, don't just try to use them as an advertising organ for you. All right, if you're going to try and use Facebook as an advertising organ, you know that I have a lot of people maybe coming to my wall. No would be is if I don't know you, don't put your book up on my page. All right, I'm gonna start charging for Facebook ads if you do.
Yeah.
Okay, so it's not Facebook ads on my page. Just be giving. If you can. It's not about the numbers. Even though I have a lot of people follow me on Twitter and that sort of thing, there's few people that really reach out personally and talk to me. And we're all real people. So if you're just trying to amass major amounts of people, then you're not going to have a relationship with masses of people. You want to personally. I have a little list on the side of different people that I talk to on a regular basis. Marshawn is one. I love James Andrew. I'll add you to that list. But there's certain people that you're going to talk to on Twitter that you have things in common with. So, yeah, you could try and talk to thousands, or you can just really have a more deeper relationship with maybe a few hundred. It doesn't have to be masses because, like what James is, he's an influencer. So you may only need to talk to James, and James may talk to 100 folks for you. So it's just about really, in social networking or social media, yes, we can be our own newspaper, magazine, television, radio show, but you're not. You're still dealing with people. People get online because it's a personal communication. Skype is personal. It's not like a broadcast like television where I can't touch you. In social media, you should be able to have some kind of personality or personal relationship. I mean, it's so important for people to understand that and I always say, if you don't know how to network offline, you're not going to know how to network online. It'll just be magnified, and it'll show that you have no networking skills. And so people say, well, how do I get more people to follow me on Twitter? How do I get more people on my fan page? People. What people? What friends? What do you want to provide for potential? I mean, people. You're looking at them as commodities instead of relationships. So you want to make sure that you're building trust with people, credibility, that you're offering things that you know will help. Because when it's all said and done, it's like, who have you helped today? What
Yeah.
problem have you solved?
Yeah, and it definitely doesn't happen overnight. I was just talking to my wife yesterday because I was on Twitter and she's like trying to get me to cook dinner or something. I'm like, wait a minute. And, you know, I'm spending a lot of time on Twitter and Facebook really trying to reach out to people that I know who have mentioned something about an interview or mentioned something about Grind and Thrive or sent me a message or reply specifically to make sure that I connect with those folks, because it's so hard to get people to your site, number one, but then secondly, just keeping them engaged and coming back for more, those return customers, so to speak.
Yeah.
So what are some of the things you suggest us do to get those people coming back after we start to build a relationship with them?
There is a book by Russell Simmons called Do You. And so I think most people need to be themselves. The people that actually have the most success in social media are the most authentic. I'm not saying authentic like I had this for lunch or I had this for breakfast, but authentically things that matter to them. And then the people who that will matter to, they will be attracted to you. So I think being authentic is really number one, doing you. If there will be people that will probably say, oh, I'm not interested in that, and they'll fall off, that's fine. You're not going to speak to everybody. Seth Godin, who's a business blogger or whatever, he just kind of like spouts out his opinion every single day on his blog, right? And it's just Seth. It's just like, this is me. And every tweet that he has almost 1,000 retweets. Nothing deep. It's just him. But if we can learn to find our voice and be very authentic with that, that's what people really want. They want the real you. You want to show them how you can help them, what you thought about something differently, something, you can even be eyes and ears, even if you don't really have, I guess you say, if you don't have like a quote unquote a voice per se that you've really developed yet, but you can be eyes and ears for other people. You can show that, okay, well, are you familiar with James? Are you familiar with Marshawn? Are you familiar with Tori? Let me introduce you. So your eyes and ears for other people, so they know that you're the go-to person. It's like, have you heard of? Do you know of? And they come to you. So what I'm trying to say is, like, find your brands, find your bin, find your voice, and do that consistently. Don't try to be like, oh, I'm going to do that because that makes money. I'm going to try and do that because that's popular. I'm going to try and do that because that'll get me a lot of fans. Just do you, and it will work, and try to go with the point of giving. So my company, Ministry Marketing Solutions, is that I provide solutions. People can give me a problem, and the way my mind is I can find a solution for them in three different ways. Either one, something that they need to do, something they need to read, or someone they need to meet. Yeah. That's just how my mind processes things very, very fast. And if you do that consistently, people are going to find you're the go-to person for that. But one of the things that I did tell one of my proteges or mentees, Natalie McNeil, she wrote the book Frugalista. I told her, she's very talented. Oh, she's a very talented young lady, journalist, been on CNN. I said, but don't let people pimp you. And I say this especially to African Americans, because sometimes we feel like we're not worthy, or we're not worth certain things, or we don't value us because of maybe what society. But don't let people pimp you. When I say don't let people pimp you, meaning that things that you can really charge the market for, get that. Don't give it away for free when they would then go and buy it from someone else. There's an old saying in the old school, it's like, sometimes people will buy things from other people because they think their ice is colder. Why is that?
Yeah.
Why is that? So, as African American entrepreneurs, you have to grind, and if you want to thrive, you have to know your value, your worth, and don't let people pimp you. You just have to walk away.
Yeah.
People will say, oh, let me pick your brain. One of my friends Adrian talked about that. She says, oh, people will call her or email her and say, let me pick your brain. She said, pick my brain. It's like, I charge for this.
Right.
This is a consulting fee, So, yeah.
I've heard that quite a bit. People having a problem with trying to find out how to tell people when they ask, hey, can I just, chat with you for 5 seconds or, a couple minutes? I want to pick your brain. It's like, people pay a lot of a lot of money, and my brain is my business, it's my brand,
Right.
it's how I earn revenue, and so
Exactly.
find a way to tell them that is often tough for folks. So
Yep.
how do you do that? Not to put you on the spot, but you mean what do you do when somebody does that to you? In I
If they
guess
want
in a polite way.
to, well, I do a podcast 3 times a week. I write a blog. I post things on Twitter and Facebook, and I'm not going to sit here and really give you information that I've already given out for free.
Yeah.
You just have to search for it.
Right.
It's there. I will send you a link. I'll send you my website. But I have done a blog talk show for the last 4 years, a show every week. If you just did a couple of Google clicks, you could find it. And basically, my blog is filled with so much information. And I have a book. I have a book called The Synergy Energy. Did you buy the book? This answer's probably in there. I mean, so a lot of times people just, they say, well, I'd like to meet with you. For what?
Yeah.
It's like, I don't even know you. Why would you want to meet with me? Because I want to do what you do. And this is, and I can understand that people do say, I want to do what you do, but, you haven't paid any dues. I have never gone to a mentor and say, I'd like you to meet with you because I want to do what you do. I usually go with the attitude of a servant and says, how can I help you? How can I assist you? What can I do to make your life easier? Over time, once I build loyalty or trust or credibility with them, then they will share with me.
Right.
But I wouldn't just call them up on the phone and say, I want to take you to lunch. I want you to just, immediately dump all the information into me so that I can do what you do.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know where that comes from. So it really does. I mean, if you intern with someone, you could be an adult and be an intern. And the intern is basically a person that is just learning under the tutelage of someone else.
Right.
Can't be too proud to do that. I've done that several times when I had to rebrand myself into different careers. When I was learning the book publishing industry, I actually worked in a publishing house as a secretary. This is years after having 2 other careers.
Right.
But I learned it.
Right.
Once I learned it, no one can take it away from me.
No shortcuts.
Nope.
No shortcuts.
Not at all.
Especially if you want it to be something that you're really passionate about. You have to be able to humble yourself at times and do what it takes to, ultimately reach your goals. So, great points, Pam. Last question for you, wrapping up here. And you've given just tons of advice, so I feel weird even asking this, but any last just actionable advice that you'd like to give to, let's say it's a mom with a couple of kids at home and with a family, and she's working a full-time job, and she wants to come home and pursue this passion, kind of like you were some years ago. What advice would you give that person to help them succeed?
This is just natural for me to always have that, to get a goal sheet and then to have a real benchmark of a person that they're following. When I say following, almost like maybe morph into that other person to the point where the things that they're doing that you're doing, find out if you can what their habits are. I love autobiographies because you can really learn all the secrets of the successful. Success leaves clues. So whoever it is that you want to model, follow them as much as you can. Especially it's easy today to do it with social media and social networking. If you can, develop a relationship with them, or even find out where a conference that they're attending for once a year. Maybe meet them face to face if you're really serious. So if you want to be, I don't know, bake cupcakes full time, you can find out people that have successful cupcake stores. How do they do it? You could call them and ask them, but you can kind of like be a detective and kind of find out on your own. Find out as much as you can, and then if there's an opportunity for you to reach out to them, then you can find out. I mean, it's a lot of it is so really simple, but it starts with a vision, and don't get overwhelmed with all the things that you have to do.
Yeah.
But start with the goal of where you want to be, and then pick a real person as a benchmark, and then see how they did it. And see what you have to do in order to get to that level. Because there's some steps between A and B that you have to do. What are those steps? And if you have to, get a coach. A coach is a really, really important person that can take you from where you want to be to where you want to from where you are to where you want to be. And they can make those steps, line them out very easy for you in timetables. They can give you information and contacts, things that will save you years. I just wouldn't be where I am without some of the coaches that I've had in my life, because they gave me my aha moments.
Right.
So you want to make sure that you're doing that. If they're busy or whatever, you have to know when to cut out. There's a certain season where you got to like maybe cut out so much extracurricular and just really put your grind in. You know, it's just for a season. But if you're serious, you'll do it. You know, it's like, oh, well, I won't be able to take a vacation because I've got to, you know, maybe work on my business. Well, that's for a season. Next year you'll be able to take a better and bigger vacation, you know, if you grind now. So, you know, it's about priorities. It's about priorities. I am a person that's very focused. So I know what I need to do, and I'm not lazy, and I know that I can shake my fanny and get it done.
Yeah. And
no one can outwork me because it's my goal. It's my goal. If it's your goal, you have to work for you, and that's really the bottom line. Don't quit expecting people to do things for you, because they're not. You have to do it yourself. You've got to read the books and listen to the podcasts and watch the web shows and reach out. You know, learn how to write. Communication is very critical. Learn how to write and speak and deliver your ideas.
Great advice. Thank you so much. Once again, this is Pam Perry. She is the creator of Ministry Marketing Solutions. Pam, I know some folks are going to want to reach out to you after watching this very inspirational episode. So what's the best way to contact you if anyone wants to say hey to you?
They can go to PamPerryPR.com. They can go there. They can email me through there. They can connect with me on any of the social media tools there. But everything is there to connect with me.
Great. Well, thank you so much, Pam, for joining me today. And thank you guys for watching. You're the reason we do this. You know, the feedback that you give us makes me keep bringing awesome guests like Pam on to teach us all how to build successful businesses. So until next time, keep grinding, and we'll see you.